in three, two, one. Is it working? It seems to be working.
Nice.
Hello. You're watching Tech Flashback, a PC gaming and hardware news live show focused on the biggest stories of the past week. I'm your co-host PC Jack, and as usual, I'm joined by my co-host Jerry of Talk Free Entertainment. And running a little bit late today, but that's my bad. But we're here now. That's the most important thing. So we got a bit of an interesting format for today's stream, but I'm sure it'll be a good one. We got to make up for missing out on last week, but we're more than capable to do that. But yeah, what's uh, what's happening on your side of the pond, Jerry?
Just one more week and I go on my vacation, so
Hmm,
counting down the days. Um, I did order a Acer Predator Arc A770 and a PNY 4080, so we'll be looking forward to those.
that's a pretty good set of cards to be taking a look at. But I was quite surprised because you were showing me uh, the 4080 that you ordered, but it seemed a bit weird that you could order it that far. Well, not that far in advance. It's a week.
No, yeah,
But
it
like,
is.
what website was it?
Office Depot, Office Max.
Oh, I had no idea they even sold computer hardware like that. Well, like
Yeah,
parts essentially. But
yeah, it's crazy. You thought they only sold like staplers and printer paper and stuff like that?
well, it's quite surprising then, right? Uh, Lucky Man's in the chat. Yeah, the gruesome twosome. Welcome to the stream, Lucky Man. It's nice to see you stopping by. Um, yeah. So where have you had the? Was it which one was it? A380 or the A750? I can't remember
It
which
was
one
a
it was now.
770.
Oh,
The
770. I
Arc.
was mixing it up.
Yeah.
So have you had that yet?
No. So this will be
No.
my first time getting it. And if you guys want a fun fact, my first pre-built was an Acer Aspire. So it's kind of nice to get an Acer GPU to kind of go full circle.
That's pretty cool. That's all right. Are you So I think you're gearing up your benchmarks now to prepare for the A770. But I know we were chatting about like potentially doing some testing for non DX12 and Vulkan tiles. But are there any particular ones you're looking forward to trying out? I think I did see you chatting about Modern Warfare 2 being a troublesome one, but you want to try it out anyway. Was that it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, especially with it being a new game, I was gonna test it anyways, but now we get to see if well, it's a very demanding game, so we'll get to see if Intel is up to the task.
Exactly, and because it's current, so like it's quite apt to be covering a game like that specifically. Any other ones that you're a bit like curious about?
Um Well, the Shadow of the Tomb Raider had DirectX 11. We'll see how it does on Forza Horizon 5. That game's pretty demanding, and Cyberpunk too. I think people already did the benchmarks on those, but we'll see. They say ray tracing's pretty good on it too, so I'll be doing just a ray
Hmm.
tracing test.
I'm curious to see that. I do have to apologize. I haven't had a chance to check out your most recent review, which was the RX 6600, I believe, wasn't it? But
Yeah, that's fine.
I want to check that one out as well. Especially after that 6950 XT review, which I thought was class. So I got to catch up. Like it's on my watch later list, but I'm gonna work my way through. But
Whatever, man.
it's good to see you still covering the older hardware though. I say older. This came out like last year, but like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like we talked about, they're still covering like last gen hardware to a certain extent. Like well, a lot of people are like channels our size would do anyway. Um, but I am keen to check out the A770 especially. 4080, I'm very. I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting week next week, especially
Yeah.
seeing how they maybe course correct after AMD's announcements last week. But we'll all get into that for today's stream as well, anyway. But yeah, everything else all right? You got the dog with you?
Yeah, the dog. Oh, she's gone. She was right here, but she left. She realized it was podcasting time. She's like, all right, I'll let him be.
But she's the Tech Flashback mascot. She should
Yeah,
know the
yeah.
score by now.
She knows
But
what to do.
no, thanks again for inviting me onto the stream the other day. It was quite a different change of pace to be on the other side, you know.
Oh
But
yeah.
that was a fun stream as well. This yeah, it's very interesting. Like, should we kick off with like looking at like how that went with RDNA 3 in particular?
Yeah,
How's
we
that
can do
sound?
a we could do a recap of the event. And it was pretty cool too, because not only were you there, but our whole Discord was pretty much there. So we actually all got to hang out
The whole crew is
live
represented,
together.
like.
Yeah. So that was pretty nice.
We'll tell you what we'll do. I just found an article to refer to. So we take it's 5 facts from PC World. Let's take a little look at this. See what's popping up. There we go. So, if anyone wasn't aware, last week AMD announced the RX 7900 XTX and XT, which are their two flagships in the RDNA free lineup. And I'm pretty excited about them. There's a lot to get excited about them compared to what's happening with Nvidia, especially in the sort of pricing range, which has got me very intrigued, and as well as a lot of other people. But we can see on here, like it's just clarified on here now. So the Radeon RX 7900 XTX and XT are a lot cheaper than Nvidia's offerings. First, the price. It's hard to call graphics cards that set you back 4 figures a bargain per se, but it appears AMD heard the outrage generated by Nvidia's pricing of 1600 for the GeForce RTX 4090 and 1200 for the RTX 4080. By contrast, RDNA Free's flagship Radeon RX 69, no, 69, it's not that one anymore, it's 7900 XTX, will set you back just $999. And a single X Radeon, so confused with these names, RX 7900 XT costs $899. So if they are, I think we need to clarify this. It doesn't seem like they are going to be competing with the 4090, as we can see quite yet with these cards. But these cards could take pretty strong aim at the RTX 4080, which is due to launch next week now. And you'll have to head over to Jerry's channel for all the coverage on a 4080 once his arrives. But out of the gate, this is one of the more interesting factors I found from that reveal last week. What are your sort of impressions based on the pricing that they've revealed so far?
Well, since it is $1,000, it is gonna go head to head with the 4080. Um, I'm wondering how that's gonna do. But for $1,000, I feel like that's not too bad compared to what prices were last year. Is it cheap? No. We're kind of brainwashed to think that it's a good deal just because prices of GPUs have been so expensive that
But in comparison,
ev- yeah, everyone's just like, "Oh my God, that's not bad at all." It's like, "Well, that's still $1,000 for a
it's like, I'll take
GPU."
your entire stock.
Yeah, when you compare the gen before the 5700 XT, what was that like $440 MSRP?
Yeah, I paid 400 for mine. Well, £400 for the 5700
Okay.
XT.
I
But
think the Sapphire Nitro was like 440, their top of the line one.
oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
in that
they
range anyway.
and even then, I remember it's like that was a steal compared to the 2080 Ti. So we've
Oh
gone
yeah.
from we've gone from those prices to this, and this is a steal. It's pretty insane. And yeah, I think it's definitely interesting because I feel like maybe they canceled the 12 gigabyte 4080 for this reason because they don't want to compete with the 7900 regular XT. They're like, there's no way we're gonna be able to push this and sell this for this price at compared to these two cards. So let's just rename it. Let's go back to the 3070 Ti or whatever they're gonna call it.
We'll touch on that later as well. I did see your message. You sent me that as well about the 3070, 4070 Ti. But yeah, but out the gate, it does seem like this is taking strong aim at the 4080 in terms of maybe performance. Once we get there, we need to wait for the benchmarks to arrive and pricing. We should probably clarify what the pricing is looking like for the 4080 at the moment. What was the price for the one that you've purchased?
I it was the PNY, it was the AIB. Let's see. Um, so we're hoping that this purchase goes through. We're hoping that they don't just have a bunch of people buy them, and then when they do come out in stock that day, they're out of, they didn't have enough supply. But it did say it was 11.99 MSRP, and then with taxes it came out to 1304. So
Right, okay. I'm just trying to find some on here. There's an article related to that as well. So we got on video
so
cards on here.
11.99. for
Yeah,
the PNY GeForce RTX 4080 16 GB Accelerate Gaming Verdo Epic X RG triple fan graphics card.
right. This is specifying. The article I found is looking at one of the Panic Game Rock ones, and that's roughly in the same sort of ballpark as the one you've got. So it's 11.99 or £12.69 in the UK. Um, but yeah, I mind you, a lot of these it's a bit more difficult to gauge because the pound is absolutely abysmal right now. But they're around £1,500 over here. Uh, but either
I
way,
say
just
look
go. Was
I say
that?
look up the PNY 4080.
Let's have a little look. Trying
What
to
were you
find
saying?
out. PNY 4080. Just so we can look at the exact one that you're referring to. Here we go. It's popping up now. XLR8. That was the one, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Verdo Accelerate.
That's it. Yeah. Have you looked at many PNY cards? I know you did one. Was it the 3060 or 3060 Ti?
I did the 3060, 3060 Ti, and the 3070.
And
Oh,
3070.
and
That's it.
uh, and another 3070s. It was the PNY, the Rebel Gaming, like this version, and then it was the PNY Up Force or something like that. It was the only GPU I seen that was aftermarket that had the dongle.
Oh right, I remember now.
Yeah.
You look at a lot of cards, bro. You know.
Yeah, I know. They said they liked my video, so I should reach out to them and see.
PNY saw the video, was it?
Their uh their YouTube their YouTube channel. They're like public. So
That's good going. Are you
yeah,
looking
maybe
forward
with this
to?
4080, it'll help
Yeah,
push that way.
you never know. Are you looking forward to testing DisplayPort 2.1?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Maybe not.
On the AMD ones for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah. So that I think going off that now, that's obviously what we're trying to draw the most comparison between is the 4080 and the 7900 XTX and XT. We need to see that sort of baseline between the two cards anyway. But we'll take
There's
another
a
look down. Was
I say
there?
there's another comparison I want to do too.
Okay,
Since we're talking about that 1200 price range, right, for the 4080.
that's correct.
What about the 3090 Ti? I think it's around that price right now. I wonder how that's going to compete with the 4080 and the 6900 XT and the XTX. Since they're around the same price range where price to performance is a big factor here. So
Oh well, I've just looked on Scan and immediately I've got a 3090 Ti Founders Edition popping up on Scan UK, going for 1149. What was the
it's a
MSRP
lot
on the
cheaper.
3090? I was gonna say it's very cheap. What was the MSRP on the 3090 Ti?
When it
1600 for the 3090? No.
No, it was 1500 the Founders Edition. The TI when it originally came out was like $2,000 or 1900, one of the two. And then it dropped down to 1500 and then it dropped down to like 1200.
Ah, that's what it was. But that, well, yeah, like we just seen now, you can get a 3090 Ti for roughly what seems like the same price for a 4080 currently. So that's an interesting proposition. But obviously, there's like we're going to see a lot of that because like the pricing on last gen is really quite telling if we're being like totally honest, especially with the amount of supply that Nvidia has on 30 series currently. But and also on AMD, they like you can get a lot of 6900 XT, 6950 XTs for pretty decent prices, both here in the UK and in the US. Like you got the 6950 XT for quite a decent price over there, didn't you?
Yeah, and it's on sale now for a little cheaper, 785.
That seemed better considering the MSRP for the 6900 XT was 999, same as what it
It
is for
was
the XTX, I think.
I think it was around the $1,000 supposedly, but all the AIBs were like 1500 and up when they first launched. You couldn't find no
Yeah.
6900 under that.
Did you
So
ever try and go directly through AMD for your cards?
Yeah, but with bots, they would just sell out instantly. I guess AMD didn't have
Yeah,
the best website.
it was real bad. Remember the days of the deal, not deal notifications. There was no such thing as a deal in the last 2 years. um,
Yeah.
uh, it's like the Discord servers where you could like it would send you a notification when X card is in
Yeah.
stock. It's like
Yeah,
those days.
yeah.
That's how I got my 3080. I used a Twitter bot to do that.
Yeah, the
But
stock drops, but even then you still had to be fast
I
because
did
everyone
literally
would get
the moment I jumped on, like the servers were like coming to a crawl. It was that bad.
yeah,
But I would hope we don't get back to those days anytime soon. Touch wood,
yeah.
but you never know.
And even then if it was in your cart, that wasn't guaranteed for you to get it. You had to complete the whole sales process. You had to
Mm.
input all your information. You had to hit like deliver or process, and then hopefully you got lucky enough that when you hit process, they had some in stock, or you got screwed over and set out of stock.
Oh yeah. I just seen like Lucky Man's comment on the chat now. Sorry, I just missed it, but I've seen it now. So he was saying his 6600 XT surprised him, and I think top three as well. Um, why did it surprise you? If you're in the chat, Lucky Man, let us know the price on that 6600 XT as well, because I'd be curious to know. I remember when the 6600 XT and non XT were controversial being priced as they were, but now they're really decently priced, all things considered. Um, but yeah, what was surprising? I can't quite. I might have missed that chat.
He got a pretty
Um,
high he was getting high frames, and then his 3D Mark score time spy was pretty high too. Compared to the 6600 XT I had on my benchmark, so his was pretty high. So I don't remember exactly. And he had a
ha-
5600X, so his results were pretty awesome.
and yeah, and bear in mind, like, was it like a recent result for your 6600 XT you were going off? Because you've done a couple over the
Uh
past couple of months, haven't you? So driver
yeah,
support would have
it
increased that or decreased, you know.
yeah, it probably was a little while ago, but I don't think that there's been too much of a performance difference on those drivers. And at least for the time spy one, it shouldn't be too much of a difference. Not that big of a difference. So
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. So even like let's just say he had the wrong settings, like I tested it at ultra and he tested his at medium and he got higher frames. The the 3D Mark one is kind of hard to mess up. I mean, he's got to send me the link for sure, and we could check that. But he showed me a picture, and it looked legit. But
Yeah, I gotta be honest, I don't really use 3D Mark much at all, so I'm quite unfamiliar with like
yeah,
how the actual scoring works on it. But he's just jumped in now, so he paid £220 for it. Yeah, the frames and score, so that's what we were just chatting about now. But 220 for that is a pretty good deal as well. Um, oh, that's what I forgot to chat to you about. So like, I did tweet about this. I bought a GPU for less than £100. I was
oh
so
yeah, yeah, yeah.
shocked. It's used.
I was gonna I was gonna ask you what card was it?
Right, let's take guesses now, right, before we carry on. So I paid £94 for this card. It is not. Well, just guess. Take your guess.
Was
What
it
card I could get for that amount?
a 1660 Ti?
No, I'll clarify. It's AMD.
A 580?
I did. I got an RX 580 Sapphire Nitro Plus one,
Oh,
which was
nice.
it was one of my favorite ones because I had. Well, yeah, I had a Sapphire RX 580 Nitro Plus 8 GB model a couple of years ago, and I sold it, and I regretted it ever since because I absolutely love that card. But I've really wanted to revisit it, especially for a video looking at like how to safely buy a used GPU, which I thought could be a pretty interesting video. And given the price as well, I was like, could be worth going for to try it out. But it's only the 4 GB model, which is a bit of a shame. But it'll still be a pretty interesting card to take a look at, I would say nonetheless anyway. I'm really excited to check it out. I don't have any AMD cards. So, and given I'm like one of the cards that were one of my favorite in the past, my favorites in the past, I'm quite excited to. And for £94, I think that's pretty decent going for an RX 580, especially given that they were selling for like 400 not very long
Yeah.
ago. But Yes, I'm very excited to get onto that. That should be arriving tomorrow.
I was gonna say for 94 pounds, that's not bad to have in case your GPU crashes or something's going on and you try to fix your PC, see what the issue is. Swap out your
Oh yeah,
GPU to see if it's your GPU or if it's your whatever it is. It's not a bad backup card to have either, all things
oh yeah.
considered.
I don't know whether I'll be keeping it or not though, because I know that my brother was still contemplating getting something for his system, which currently has
Yeah,
a GT 710. There was a fly in front of my mic. That's why I was like this.
it's all
Uh,
right.
so a GT
So you're doing
710 is not.
a Jedi mind trick on me.
It's like you will send me that 4080 when you're done with it. Fuck, I will. um, so yeah, a GT 710 isn't exactly doing anything at all. So, given that my brother only has a 1080p 60 hertz monitor, he doesn't really need much to capitalize on that. So an RX
Yeah,
584 gig would be sufficient, I would say.
just trade them. Yeah, just trade them if worst comes to worst. That way you still have a backup GPU just in case.
Yeah, well, I've got a 3060 Ti as well, so it's not I'm not
Oh yeah,
struggling over here,
you're good. Yeah, that's
But
true.
but I
I
am
know what
excited
you
to
mean.
check it out. I might do an overclocking stream with it. That could be
Nice.
interesting. Um,
Oh,
but yeah, I'll be getting to work on that over the next week or two, and some other bits
I,
and
s-
bobs. But I'll get to that later.
I still want to do I still want to build a streaming PC as well, but I don't know if I should just build a new PC for myself and keep this one as a streaming one, or which is a lot more expensive, or just because I have an extra motherboard. I have a Z590 and I have that Pentium processor, and I don't think that's strong enough to stream.
Did I tell you
Um,
what I do with my streaming PC?
no.
No, I stopped using it. I returned some of the parts. Some of the parts I already had to hand, and some of it was sampled, so I didn't get rid of
Yeah.
those. But no, I couldn't really justify it, if I was being totally honest. And given my main system has a 3080 and a 3900 XT, I'm not really struggling for splitting streaming tasks, if I'm being totally honest. And given that I stream mostly this, like just chatting,
Yeah. It was
it's
unnecessary.
not really. And a lot of my capturing, like I use an EVGA XR1 capture card hooked up to my main PC,
Yeah.
and I use that mostly for, strange enough, mostly for like BIOS capture or for like that overclocking stream the other day.
Yeah.
It's just right for that. But gaming wise, like I can't really justify it. Maybe in the future that could change, but a single system seems to be more suited to my needs. It was still
Yeah.
a fun build to do, and yeah, it's just a bit of an experience. It's more so because I had the case at the time, so I wanted to do an actual build in the case just because I had it. But no, but it depends on use case. You play a lot more games on stream, so it
Yeah.
could
I
be
play a lot
particularly
more
ideal.
games.
Hmm.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is very demanding. So that one I play at 60 frames when I do stream now. So I'm running into that issue there.
Oh,
Um,
you having to cap it?
yeah, which is a
Oh,
surprise.
okay.
That's the first time I had to do that with my 6800 XT. Everything is at ultra settings though, so
Hmm.
that's
But ideally, you wouldn't be capping that. That's the problem, though.
no. Yeah, normally I could play 120 frames at 4K ultra settings and be able to stream it like no problem. Maybe it jump
Hmm.
down to 90 frames depending on the game. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna do that. Plus, I just want to do a lot more stuff. I want to be able to record the gameplay settings from my streaming PC onto the well when I upload videos. I want to in the best quality I can. If I'm recording from the same PC that I'm testing on, I'm not gonna get the same visual quality and I'm not gonna get the same performance because it's gonna be recording.
Yeah.
So I want the streaming PC not to hinder any of the performance on
Well, in your
that.
case, it sounds quite ideal then. I think that's a
Yeah.
much more justifiable reason to have the second PC dedicated to the streaming process. Um,
My
you've got parts to hand as well, which is ideal.
yeah, I say the my main issue is the Z590 motherboard. Um, I just need pretty much a better CPU, and to get a better CPU, the 12700K, not the 12, the 11700, is like $300, man. And the 10700 is like 280. And I can't really justify buying a 10 or 1100 for that price when I can buy a AMD 5900 for 350 and just buy a cheap motherboard for like $80. I'd rather spend that little bit more and get a newer card than that, you know?
Yeah, I am for with that. I haven't really like. I think people forget Rocket League existed because it was such a like bit of
It's
a naff
garbage.
release,
Yeah.
with the exception of the 11600K. That was quite impressive, but I'm just taking a little peek for myself what it's like in the UK currently for that. Um, so 11900K you can get for 369 over here. It's a bit of a regression over Comet Lake. Comet Lake would probably be a better shout given what you'd be doing.
Yeah. That'd be a
Um,
little bit cheaper.
that makes no sense. You can get an 11700K for 379, or you can get 11900K for £10 less.
Yeah.
That's a bit pear shaped.
Yeah. And look up how much the AMD 5900 is.
I think it's about 160, 175 for that. So I was looking. I'm actually selling my 5600X. That's why I've been like paying a bit of attention.
Oh no,
Um,
5900.
oh,
The
5900X. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
bit closer. Yeah, what
I
about
was gonna say
Comet Lake?
look up that price. It's about the same price as the 10900 or the 10700, so I'd rather get a newer CPU. That's what I'm saying.
5900X.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, 360 for that. So it makes you
And
wonder, should you
that's
just sell the Z590 and go for like a different AMD motherboard?
Yeah, I wouldn't even sell it, man. I'll just keep it. It paid itself off already.
Yeah.
Um, I'll
Um,
just
more Comet Lake though. That's what we were checking on. Do they even sell Comet
yeah.
Lake? Yes, they do. Let's take a look at that. 10850K for 389, 10700KF for 36. Intel's pricing on last gen is really odd.
Yeah, they just never dropped their prices, man.
No. Well, yeah, 10600KF for 184. But again, there's a 5600X, which is going to outperform that a lot more. I know not so much for gaming in your case because you wouldn't be using it for that. It'd be for like
Yeah. No, but
encoding.
even on principle.
Yeah. But you got some options.
But you
Like,
get what I'm saying? I'd rather spend like $90 on a little B550 or you know,
hmm.
and then just get something that and get a brand a way newer, way more efficient, way more powerful CPU than spend the same amount and get a older one.
Oh yeah, and especially I think like some of the tasks you would think like a stream PC would go for, kind of get a bit overstated depending on what you're doing. Because when
Yeah.
I was streaming with the dual PC setup before, and I had to look at what the sort of usage was on the stream PC, it wasn't even sweating. Like it was not difficult for it to encode what it was doing. um, the main thing is just make sure you're getting a decent capture card, and
Yeah.
you got some decent options when it comes to your encoder, like whether you prefer to go for X264 or NVENC, or if you're looking to get AV1 support specifically, because that's quite popular at the moment given with these new releases. But
Yeah. Well, I'd be using the 3070 Ti. I'll just be using the NVENC encoder on there.
yeah, it wouldn't even be sweating. It'd be totally fine on that. So it'd be alright. And maybe you could use that as like a dual editing rig as well. You could pass off some
Yeah.
of that
I was,
tasks.
I was gonna just like put it in my living room and use that as the editing station over there. That way, like I said, I can hang out with the missus a little more.
Even better then. Lucky Matt said 5600X was 182. Okay, so it was rough. It's in that ballpark. Um, you know what it is? I may be looking at used because I was like, because mine will be going as sold for used. Maybe it's in that sort of area where I was looking on like eBay or perhaps something like that. I'm not 100% sure. Um, but yeah, it's a very good time to be buying CPUs. That's the thing.
Yeah.
We'll get onto CPUs a bit more later on. Like we'll get back onto RGNA 3 for just a second, but recapping on what we did on it was Thursday last week, I think it was. Um, my favorite thing about that entire reveal was the amount of jabs at Nvidia though, because they
Yeah.
had plenty of that going on. So not only does RGNA 3 support DisplayPort 2.1, which is extremely useful for some of the monitors they showed off, which had like some crazy refresh rates on like 1440p all the way up to like 8K and 8K ultra wides. I do think they pushed 8K a little hard though, and I get a little bit like turned off by that based on how well that went with the 3090. I don't know if I'm the only one on that, but I feel that's a bit for the two people in the world that are playing at 8K. It's not particularly appealing currently.
It's all about
But
13K.
exactly. But then there was also no need for an adapter. Just twist the knife a little bit, but then AMD, you know.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
easy upgrade, I think, was the term they used. And they showed off like the sizing on these cards, and they were more like a typical 2.5 free slot card, but something that'll fit into most average mid towers, I would expect. Um, what was your sort of like? Because the digs they're getting at AMD, Nvidia now, especially when it comes to this 12VH power connector, that it's such an easy target to go for currently because it's just like
Yeah.
it's going absolutely crazy. I don't know whether like the amount of people that are reporting these like issues with their 4090s
Yeah.
is getting
I was
like
gonna.
amplified because it's like the people who have a good card aren't going to tell you about it. The people who have a bad card will tell you.
Yeah, exactly. And even then, I mean, it's okay not to tell them on the good ones, but there's a lot of people with the bad ones telling you. And I don't know if you saw, but the first burn with the ATX 3.0 PSU, supposedly those are the new PSUs you're supposed to buy, so it's able to
Yeah.
handle the power safely. It managed to melt one of their wires on one of their PSUs.
So
So
not even using the adapter, it is the actual direct cable to PSU ATX 3.0 like connector basically.
yeah, it was an MSI PSU, which I mean, I probably wouldn't recommend getting an MSI PSU if we're being honest.
Do they have a good
But
track record? I've never had an MSI PSU before. I don't even
it's
know.
just not that they have a good or bad track record. It's just that just stick with the just stick with the big boys. I would
Yeah.
I would probably go with the Seasonic or maybe even EVGA. You know, stuff like the ones that make the companies that make the same stuff because there's a lot of off brands of Seasonic. What is it? Superflower. Get a Superflower.
But
Those are
Seasonic are like the
pretty.
OEM for a lot of power supply brands, especially
Yeah.
with why are my headphones gone? I don't know if you're coming through.
All right. Well,
I
I'd
don't know why,
definitely
but my
not get
headphones have been a bit troublesome
a
lately.
gigabyte one. Yeah, avoid gigabyte
I
PSUs.
think you should still be
I
coming through to everyone else.
yeah, I
Give it a
think so.
second.
It's fine. I'll carry the conversation.
It connects in just a
They
moment. I swear I'm gonna have to try and get something wired because it's just not working.
they say that they fixed the gigabyte
And
PSUs,
now
but I still wouldn't trust it. Can you hear me?
I
No?
can.
Okay. I got
I
a
don't know. I don't know what
actually
it is though.
I got a Rosewell PSU from my cousin for his build. Um
Okay,
so hopefully it's good. It's gold, 80 plus, modular. Why not?
that's
They're
not
all
too bad
they're all
then.
yeah, they're all pretty good, except MSI apparently. But yeah,
Apparently,
so yeah.
but like at least for like it's not a gigabyte power supply. We've all learned our lesson with that. If we're being totally
Yeah.
honest.
Right now when you couldn't hear I was talking about it.
Ah,
So
right.
you'd
That's what it
avoid those.
was.
Yeah, since we're talking about AIB PSU makers. Yeah. So it seems like avoid those except for EVGA. But technically don't avoid EVGA doesn't make graphics cards no more anyway, so
Also, we
you're fine.
thought.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. No,
but
that's true, that's true.
so have they managed to pin down? Because I'm seeing a lot of stuff popping up for like the connector not being quite like fully seated, getting bent at a specific angle. There's
Yeah.
loads of
The
reports.
the
I saw a guy swinging a power supply the other day just to like put as much tension as possible. I was like, okay, I might be overdoing it slightly, but I get it.
yeah.
That's fine. but I don't think they pinned it down to any like a specific fault. Which I
They
don't know if I
literally
don't even know
haven't.
if Nvidia's investigating that either.
I say they literally haven't pinned it down. Is what's one of the issues too. Some of the pins don't connect properly, or aren't seated, or aren't threaded right. The little rubber sleeve. I don't know, man. Supposedly, Gamers Nexus did an extensive review and found nothing, right? They
Yeah,
stress tested.
I haven't seen his one on it, but like it makes me nervous when I see Galax have got like this dual 12 pin, no 16 pin, 16 12. I can't even remember now. A dual 16 pin connector for their 4090. I can't remember the name of the model, but like it's 1200 watts. That's a lot of power. But
Yeah, that's insane.
I don't know. It just doesn't fill me with much confidence. Like, would you not prefer to just see like 8 pin PCIe connectors at this point?
Yeah, exactly. Um, just do what I do, man. Just use two PSUs, one for your system and one for your graphics card separately.
You might have
Think
to
you'll
at
be
that
fine.
point.
Yeah.
But but yeah, it's the point that like AMD made like a strong point of like saying like, oh, you don't need to have an adapter. We're using standard 8 pin PCIe connectors. It's totally fine, and it's showing off like oh, so we can tap on the board power. So they said for the 7900 XTX, it was a TDP of 355 watts, which is pretty good all things considered, given like the performance claims they're like reporting. And then it was 300 watts for the XT, I think.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, that's it. So the pushing in the sort of ballpark, like my 38 FE draws about at stock is about 320. Power limit like increased, maybe 350 at most. Um, or you'd be like me and keep it at the exact same speed and undervolt the hell out of it and draw about 200 to 220 watts. Totally fine. um, But yeah, they are trying to like maintain that power efficiency angle, which they did try and do a lot with on RDNA 3, RDNA 2 rather. Uh, I gotta be honest, that was something I didn't really touch on much when I reviewed the 6650 XT. But how was like, given the amount of AMD cards you've tested for RDNA 2, how has power efficiency been on your end? Like, I'm expecting a lot better than 30 series, mostly.
They haven't been too bad. Honestly, I haven't been paying too much attention to them. Once I saw that 3090s were drawing, or the 3090 Ti was drawing over like 400 freaking, supposedly, you know, on watts, I didn't care too much about them. But
And what wattage
yeah,
is your power supply in your system for that?
huh?
What power supply do you have?
I have a 850 watt Seasonic, I believe, Prime, Focus Prime.
Yeah, so but it sounds really weird to say, but yeah, that's kind of close now. So you have to have a
Yeah.
no power supply.
Well, with the 6950 XT, it said that a minimum PSU of 950 watts was recommended. So that's why in that video you see me reviewing it, I used a 750 watt for the GPU by itself, just to just to be on the safe side. I didn't
Oh
want to
yeah,
damage my cousin's card, you know.
but like but it did seem like especially like I'm sure I did look at it. It might have been when I was doing like the overclocking for the 6650 XT, but power was pretty decent all things considered, and I expect that kind of translated quite across the board. Maybe not so much when it got up to like the 6900 XT and 50 XT, but they had that
I was
going
gonna
for them.
I was gonna say, AMD also had it where they limited how much power you could put to the cards. You really couldn't overclock them too much with more power. Um, I
Did I
think
have?
barely. Yeah, so you might have barely been able to put this power slider up a little bit, but they limited that function, and I'm not. Well, I'm assuming just because to keep the card safe. I'm sure they already pushed it to the max. I'm not too sure. But that was one problem that people didn't like too much with the RDNA 2 was that they couldn't go ham on the overclocking, even with coolers, because the card had that stock block on the overclock.
I'm just pulling it up. Just because I know I have it, as I did the overclocking video. So I'm just trying to
Yeah,
find where's power control.
I also heard on the 4090s too that just giving it more power doesn't give you better results to tune them.
You think, but
That
like
you actually,
Nvidia locks that down pretty hard on their cards anyway, so it could be that. But where's that power limit? I don't use Wattman very often. It's not even called Wattman
yeah.
anymore, is it?
No, it's adrenaline.
It's Adrenaline now. Um, oh, here we go. Right, so I've got the thing on here. So it did let me actually increase the power limit on there. So that was on the Red Devil though. It could have been different
Yeah, but
on
how
some other ones.
much?
Ten
Yeah, but
percent.
barely. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nothing.
No, it's not very much. Like what? And like if I was to like
They
compare it, what is it on?
even
What
the
is it?
6950 XT, it only lets you do 10%. And like I said, a lot of people that water cooled them were kind of mad because they could push them further. But
Yeah. 50,
the
fifteen
stock,
percent on the 38 FE. So there's a little bit more then anyway. But yeah. But either way, I think they were able to clock pretty well. Like I went in the Discord and I said I nearly pushed 3 gigahertz on my 6650 XT, and then it crashed. But I was like, I was that close. I was that close to greatness, you know.
I was
but
I was gonna ask you too. I forgot while we were watching this live, but people brought it up. Do you remember they were saying that the RDNA 3 cards are gonna push 3 gigahertz, like pretty much out of the box?
but now they're saying like clocks are seeming a bit low in comparison.
Yeah.
Because what they
Um.
said, 2.3, 2.5 ish, I believe.
Yeah. It wasn't too high. Um. But I'm pretty sure you're gonna be able to overclock them pretty good. People will find a way.
Well, if I ever get my hands on RDNA 3, I'll certainly give it a go.
Oh yeah.
Lucky Man said 20% on the 6600. That's a fairly modest increase on what's it called
Yeah.
power limit on there. But like I know I tested. Well, I say tested. I didn't do too much testing on it. But I built a system for a friend of mine using the 3070 Vision. What's that was called? It's the
The
Gigabyte
Gigabyte
Vision
Vision.
on.
It's a white
Yeah,
card. Yeah.
yeah, that's the one. And that was completely power limited. You could not increase the power. You could not up the power slider on it at all, which is a little bit disappointing. But maybe on that you could try and push a bit more like a memory OC without worrying too much about power on that. But again, that's another example of one where it's locked down pretty hard. Maybe not so much on Nvidia's side because I has a gigabyte card anyway. But I can't think of any other ones where the power slider has been locked completely. Not 100% sure. But either way, it is seeming like AMD is like on the right track for RDNA 3 when it comes to power efficiency because like Nvidia just does not give an F, at all at the
Yeah.
moment. Like I've realized I never dropped an F bomb on TechFlashback, but like I'm saving it for a rainy day. But
Yeah.
give
Nice.
it give it down. But like it's just crazy. They've really brute forced the RTX 4090's power to get as much performance as possible, which is great. It's always exciting to see that, but like at what cost? It's just bearing that in
Well,
mind.
burnt cables,
How could I forget?
burnt PSUs. That's the cost apparently.
But what else was there with the RGNA 3 announcement? I'm just trying to think off the top of my
I
head now.
like that. I like that the cards are coming out with 24 gigabyte models for
Yes,
the
I did see that. So like, because they were the highest they had on last gen was
with 16.
16. Yeah,
Yeah.
16.
So
But
now they have more VRAM, which is definitely needed for everything.
oh
Gaming
yeah.
is asking for more VRAM now, and also when it comes to the productivity and all the rendering and all that stuff, you want that additional headroom, so you don't stutter and crash everywhere.
Oh, you know what I did find pretty cool was they had a little bit of discussion on what they're referring to as like decoupled clocks. So because to clarify, for the RDNA 3 cards, they're using a chiplet based design for the actual GPU die, which is not very common. I can't think of the last time that would have been used in that sort of way for multi chip design. But basically, it'd
But
be
they
like
say
so like what was it?
no, it was a multi-chip design, but I remember I was seeing that they're saying I think the Vega had a similar design, and some people are scared of getting error code and crashing codes because since it all reads on the same spot, um they're getting error. I'm trying to remember what the error was. Let me look it up real quick and
But
we'll
the
look at
idea
it.
was on the multi-chip design was that they were able to sort of dynamically like boost clocks depending on the specific loads using the actual chiplets themselves. So like I can't remember the exact figures off the top of my head for what they were looking at, but again, they were talking about like an advertised sort of like 2.3 to 2.5 gigahertz, specifically on the reference. I'm assuming it'll get pushed higher on AIBs anyway. But it's quite interesting because I hadn't quite seen that sort of design for boosting before. There was another card that did it, but I can't remember. Could have been that, like you were saying with Vega. I never had a Vega card, so I can't really comment too much on it. But if it could
Yeah, I
cause
didn't
issues
have
like
one
that, that's
either.
maybe that could be a bit more concerning if it is going to cause issues like that. But given the improvements they've made since Vega, it might not be an issue, I
Yeah, I was
suppose.
gonna say it'd be pretty tough for them to overlook something like that. That was a issue on their previous card.
But yeah, while I leave you try and find that, I'm just trying to think of what else there was from the announcement.
Um,
They
what
had
was it? But
Lisa Sue shown up for like 5 minutes and then like FO'd. She was like, right, bye.
yeah, yeah. I remember I didn't like that they showed all the benchmarks with FSR, which is something that Nvidia does with DLSS when they're showing their stuff. And they did say
Hmm.
the reason they didn't show it comparing to the 4090 was because it's not going to be a direct competitor to the 4090, but to the 4080. And since Nvidia doesn't show AMD products on their charts, they're not going to give the free advertisement to Nvidia. Supposedly,
Hmm.
is what they were saying. So,
But to be
is it
fair,
free advertise?
we're gonna get those anyway when third party comes out.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Um, I remember the what is Smart Access Video? Something like that. So when you streamer part of the AV1 with the streaming, it uses the GPU and the CPU together to
oh
help
yeah,
output the stream.
I remember now. So they were saying like specifically if you're using like a Ryzen, was it locked to 7000 series? I was hoping it. I hope
I'm
it
a,
wouldn't
I'm a,
be.
yeah, I'm assuming so for at least the beginning, and then they'll probably fix it from there.
I don't know, but they're gonna do the same thing where there was like resizable, no, well, resizable bar. It is there, but smart access memory that was locked down to 500 series chipsets and 5000 series, and then we came out with rebar, which was like on most piece of hardware, basically.
Yeah.
Maybe along those lines. I don't know, but I'd be interested to see that. That'd be like an interesting prospect to be able to pass off encoding and decoding tasks between both the GPU and CPU simultaneously, which I thought would be pretty interesting, given it's kind of one or the other most of the time. What else was there? I think that was
Um,
sort
they
of like
they,
the.
they
What
were
was
talking
it?
about the super resolution 2.2 the FSR, but um, we're not really upscaler. We're not really AI upscaler people here. We do use them in tests and stuff just to so people can be happy about it, but I don't think we're really about that life.
Yeah, it has its
Um,
use cases, but obviously I want to see raw performance, like
yeah, we
specifically in
want to see raw power.
raster non-upscaled and also RT non-upscaled, just to get an actual gauge of the performance as a whole, which is I think is the most important thing. But
And release
yeah,
date is December 13th, right?
yes, that's correct. So not
Okay. It
long,
was
all things
supposed to be,
considered.
they moved it up a week. It was supposed to be December 5th, I believe, or December 6th.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear that, but
Yeah.
well, it could have very well been, yeah, I suppose.
And they said they moved it up a week to help stabilize the drivers so it can compete with the 4080 pretty significantly. So,
Oh, okay, right, I can get on board with that then. But
yeah. Yeah, they're going to want to come out with the knockout punch when they do come out.
But is it just me? I'm sort of gauging like the overall like consensus on like the actual like not the consensus, the reception to RDNA 3 at the moment. The Discord server on the night of the stream was pretty unanimous in being pretty excited, all things considered, on both the Peace Jack Discord and on your Discord. So a lot of people seem happy, and also on Twitter I saw quite a lot of positivity regarding it. So I think AMD has done it. Like I mentioned this in my news roundup the other day, where it seems like AMD has tried to capitalize on the sort of negative press that Nvidia has been in over the past couple of weeks, because there's been so much going on. The stuff with the 12 power, pricing being all over the shop, the 4080 12 gig getting cancelled, and AMD has done a good job of like capitalizing on that and taking the time to show off their card, give you some rough performance numbers, not the best performance numbers that would give you the best indication, but nonetheless some performance to go off of, and announce a lot of features which are very appealing to gamers and also targeted a more value oriented release. Which I think was all they needed to do. They didn't need to beat anyone, they just needed to bring those to the table, in my opinion. And that's why I thought the stream was really successful in that way. Or the showcase, rather. But it does seem a lot of people are feeling the same way, like, mostly. But again, these are expensive cards. We do need to see the lower end, which they didn't really do much to like cover, unfortunately. But I want to see it.
I was gonna ask you, last year when they released the 6900 XTs, did the 6800 XTs and 6700 XTs come out at the same time, or were those branched off a little? Like
I think it was the 6800, 6800 XT, and the 6900 XT.
those three came together.
Yeah, the 6700 XT came a little bit later, but
Okay, that's correct. I remember getting one
yeah,
on day one, and I think it was a little after.
that's what it would have been then. But yeah, it's typical now. Obviously, they will like start with like the flagships for these like cards on both in AMD
It
and
makes
Nvidia
sense.
anyway, and then they'll scale down. But like it took a long time for them to scale down on RGNA 2 and the RTX 30 series, and I would hope that's not gonna be the same case like this time around. But it's a very different market, and like I think AMD is feeling that really hard, especially on Ryzen 7000 series, because the sales on that has just been really like low, which is expected if we're being honest. Looking at the pricing, the like the economy it's launching under, which is drastically different to what it was last time they launched relying on CPUs, and just being overall
Intel
fairly
1300.
inaccessible. And 1300 series for 13th gen rather for Intel, which
Yeah,
I'm gonna say I am gonna be doing some testing on, because I decided on the upgrade for my main rig from
nice.
Zen 2 B450. It's finally getting the change. So we're going 13700 KF,
Nice.
which is a little bit of a drop off in terms of cores, but then we've also got performance and efficiency cores to bear in mind as well. But like it's a pretty decent uplift in performance over the
And
3900 XT with both multi-core and single
yeah,
core.
I was gonna say its single cores are pretty insane too, right? On the
Hmm.
13700. So yeah, I think I actually want to do I'm probably gonna go with the 13 gen as well. Eventually, I do want to do a 13900, but I'll probably do a Z690 if I do get a motherboard like that.
Yeah, I've gone C690 as well. I had the MSI one, but I used that specifically for my like testing, so I wouldn't be able to use that in my main rig. So I've gone for
Yeah,
8 GB Z690 Aorus Elite DDR4, so I don't have to get DDR5 for that. But
nice.
very excited. It's a nice little birthday treat for me. Just keep me busy with
Hell yeah,
some new
hell
hardware.
yeah.
But
I'll tell.
I've been wanting to cover a lot of Gigabyte motherboards, because I've done a lot of MSI and Asus, but nothing for Gigabyte mostly.
Yeah,
But I'm
yeah, they're
excited,
pretty good.
and
They're
I'm,
they're pretty good motherboards.
it's right there. I had a Gigabyte B450 ITX board, but now I'm excited to check this one out though, and get some more BIOS overviews out there, some more BIOS update tutorials, and all stuff like that. And also, it'd be just cool to actually get some more like CPU testing going. So I do quite like. I think I prefer CPU testing compared to GPUs, if I'm being honest. Um, So if you need CPU reviews, like I'll try my best, and if you need GPU reviews, you go to Jerry for that. It's how we kind of
Yeah.
like complement each other, you know.
Yeah, with this Acer Predator A770 that I'm gonna get tomorrow. I'm pretty interested to see how I'm gonna do it. Normally I've been doing just the unboxing and benchmarks. I might do that. I might do it a little. I might elaborate a little bit more since these are more. These cars are a lot more newer. Before I kind of figured like, well, everyone saw the reference and the founders editions with the main guys, so they kind of know what it's made of and they know more or less what components they are. I'm like, so this way, the way I was doing it was for people that want to purchase the card, it'll help them know like more or less what they're getting um on the important stuff. A lot of people don't care whether the freaking heat pipe how many heat pipes there are in there and how close they
Yeah.
are and touching and what kind of vapor chamber and whatnot. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm probably gonna do this one a little differently. Normally, I don't do ray tracing because I don't believe in ray tracing right now. I think it's like an urban legend, but
Well, it's out there. X Files fame.
yeah. But it's like the Jedi, you know. They say
Mm.
that they're out there, but do you really see them?
Sorry, this is gonna come off as a bit of a tangent, but like I thought about this when I watched the Force Awakens. I don't know if anyone else in the chat has seen Force Awakens, but there was a bit in there where they were like, "Oh, like were the Jedi real?" It's like, "Oh yeah." Oh, no, not even Force Awakens. In like the original trilogies, like were Jedi
Yeah,
real?
yeah,
What do you mean, like what? 19 years ago, everyone forgot.
yeah.
Like
I know. Yeah, that's
they weren't
something
really
I
hidden.
thought
They
too.
had a whole temple on a planet. People went there all the time. They're like, "Oh yeah, just hang out with like Yoda and all that, just casual." And then 19
Yeah,
years
that's one
later, they're
thing.
like, it's a myth. It's like,
Yeah, that's one thing I didn't like about the prequels either. And I could kind of understand too if the Jedi were just like on one planet, and that's why people weren't too sure. But the Jedi didn't they like literally go across the galaxy to help enforce terror?
they had like Jedi like primary school. Like they had like kids
Yeah,
rocking up like, "Oh, here's your first day at Jedi school." It's like, "Oh, sweet. Like, I'll see you later, mum."
yeah, I thought that was odd too.
But no. Anyway, back from that now. Um, I thought I'd let you know, Jay. We also had the gratuitous spam bot pop up.
Yeah, I
Like
saw it. I saw it, but you already beat it.
I was
Oh,
like, I unleashed that banhammer straight away.
when we were doing my live stream, and the spam bot popped up, I was like, finally, I'm legit. I'm legit now.
It's like, yes, I made it.
Yeah.
No, but
Uh,
it was a really good
But
stream though. I really enjoyed that one.
yeah, I would say but we're talking about the prices of Zen 5. What is it, Zen 4? AMD 5, AM 5?
Zen 4, yeah.
Yeah,
AM5,
Zen
Zen
4,
4,
AM 5.
yeah.
Yeah, I hate how they do that. Um, that's why I like iPhones because at least they button up their numbers and stuff. They make everything uniform, sound nice. It's the only
Yeah.
thing I like about iPhones, if we're being honest. But since everything's so expensive, they're not selling well. I'm kind of hoping that they drop the prices on everything. And if they don't drop the prices, maybe they'll do bundles for really cheap. And maybe that's when I'll hop on that or the 13 gen, just depending. Bro, you guys hear about Micro Center, right? This is like the Jedi. Like everyone hears about them, but no one sees them.
Yeah, that's like a myth in the UK. We don't have anything like that. What
Dude,
was it in particular?
it's a myth here in the US. But I think they're selling a Z690, a Asus Tough Gaming, and a 13700 for 350 bundled together.
Oh, that's fair. That's a pretty good bundle, all things considered.
Yeah, so
Um,
you're either getting the motherboard for 150 and the CPU for 200 or vice versa, whatever way you want to see it. And
well,
that's a steal.
I was just about to show off some bundles that they've started doing for Zen 4, which are not very good, all things considered.
Yeah.
But they've gone here, so like, just take a look at ones on scan. So we got Gigabyte B650, Aorus Elite AX, and a 7900X. Was £869, reduced to £789. Mm, that motherboard is still way too overpriced in my opinion, if I'm being totally honest. But most of these deals are like they're sort of like around that same less than £100 off, but not enough to make me jump onto that platform. If we're being totally honest, I don't even think it gets better on the lower end. Um, they're not even doing it for the 7600X, which is even more of a difficult sell currently. What's like the cheapest thing they got? So they got uh, the same B650 motherboard with 7700X. Um, Again, just under £100 cheaper. It's not great, all things considered, being totally honest. But
Yeah,
that's the problem. Like I really feel that they've missed the mark with Zen 4, and Intel has like strangely like capitalized on that as well, and they've gone in and come in with a platform that's much more accessible. Like you can get a 13th gen CPU, you can pair it with a 600 series motherboard, which is over a year old now by this point, I think. Yeah, I think Z690 came out about a year ago now. It's cheaper. You can use DDR4. You don't have to use DDR5. You have to use DDR5 on AM5, which is a big problem as well for pricing. So they're kind of like in a rough patch, all things considered, especially since they've ceased production reportedly on 7000 series, just while they try and like get rid of this allocation they got because it just doesn't seem to be
that
going
makes
anywhere.
sense. Yeah, that makes
Um,
sense. You don't want to make more of a problem
oh yeah,
than what you
and
have right
like
now.
the general like discussion on 7000 series seems to have like completely died down as well. And, like no one's really talking about Zen 4 as much anymore as well. And that's the thing because I was like I said, I was in that position where I was like, what am I going for? Like I felt quite primed for a motherboard CPU upgrade, going from Zen to B450, and I was just weighing it up. I was like, well, it generally see like I've had to leave Team Red, and go over there. I'm gonna have to become an Intel shill, because
Yeah,
people on my videos seem to think I'm a massive Nvidia shill as well. So like, who knows? I have to just. That was so dumb.
yeah, that was hilarious.
I had nothing to say. I was just like, I like winding people up by just replying lol as well. Just
Yeah,
lol and leave, and that's it.
bro. Someone on that Red Devil video, I I said at the end, I was like, for $800, this is a really good card. It performs close or even beats the 3090 Ti or the 3090 on a lot of tests.
Yeah.
I was like, I would recommend getting this card if you have $800. And then the guy's like he's like, dude, are you crazy? He's all, this is what's wrong with you content creators. You act like $800 is nothing. He's all, this card beats the 3090 Ti and the 3090, and you're out here saying that it's a
Why
terrible
my
card for
headphones
that
died again?
price. Oh,
Let's fix these
this guy's
headphones.
this
Oh,
this
back.
guy
It's
don't
okay.
care.
I'm back. Sorry,
Uh,
my headphones died.
yeah. Well, anyways, and then I'm like, bro, I literally said that. I'm like, here, take the L for trying to gaslight me. And then he deleted his comment. I was like, bro, you literally repeated me word for word. And you
That's
said,
crazy though. But they're like going on that one. But that guy preferred that I'd never touched any cards beside AMD. Like that would make me an
yeah,
AMD fanboy then. So where's the?
yeah,
How'd
exactly.
you win?
Yeah, and like I said, I said in the comment, that gives you the best experience to talk about
I'm
AMD
gonna
or
have to.
Nvidia being better.
I gotta sort these headphones. They're going absolutely crazy. I'm gonna try and find a spare set. I'll be back in a moment.
Yeah, no problem.
If you
But
carry
what are
on.
you guys running in the chat? You guys running Nvidia or AMD? I know Lucky Man is running AMD with the 6600. Um, I'm running AMD as of now. My 6800 XT has been pretty awesome, and I did pay a lot for it because this was when the shortage was. But it's okay. I don't mind it. But I am looking at the 4090. That'd be pretty interesting to get. It's pretty hard to get. I was able to get a 4080 today, so hopefully that
Why
it
have
says
we
it's going to
lost
come
you,
in by the
Jerry?
17th. It is the PNY one, so maybe I don't know, but then I'm probably going to try to get the 7900 XTX as well. So we'll see, you guys. We'll see. I'm not trying to brag or anything. I know it sounds pretty crazy, but I am definitely interested in trying these cards out, and I'll let you guys know firsthand what results I get. Um, I have been playing Modern Warfare 2, which has been pretty fun. Today there's a new Halo update, and that should come out with Forge and new maps and co-op.
I can hear again. Sorry. Well, going on that thing you were saying about like they were saying about £800 is well $800 rather is a lot of money. That is true. It's none of this stuff is particularly cheap. Let's be totally honest. Like GPUs are expensive. That's just a fact. But like £800 to one person is a lot more than the other. If you know, I need to fix your audio again. My bad.
It's a lot of money to me, man.
Your audio's back now. Apologies for that. But it's a lot of money to some people. Some people it's going to be less. It's going to vary. But that's why we have these different segments that we try and target, whether it's on the lower end or we're looking at like the higher end with the flagships. So you need to be able to look at both sides, which people don't seem to be able to appreciate. As it's all in there. I did see
Hey,
Jerry should be. They should be able to hear you now. I think
okay, cool. Um, that's cool. So I was just talking and no one heard.
that's my bad, bro.
Jeez. It's okay. I was like, this is the biggest secret I'm gonna tell, and I'm gonna say it once. Now I
Damn it.
can't. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
like, I don't know what it is. These
And that's
I
what
li-
led me onto the path I am today.
exactly. I like these Sennheiser headphones, but for some reason they just keep dropping out. Don't know why it is, but
Are they made for a PC or are they made for like phones and tablets and whatnot?
oh, they're definitely made for PCs. That's why I bought them.
Yeah.
No,
So maybe that's it.
could be that, but like they've been fine. Like I've had them for the past I want to say 11 months now, and it's only recently they've just started dropping out an awful lot. So I don't know what it is at the moment, but I don't know.
Hey, you wanna know something sad?
What's that?
So I'm gonna get my 4080 supposedly on the 17th, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the day I'm leaving to Vegas. So I'm not gonna be able to test
Ooh.
the card for a whole week. But I'm gonna be on vacation, so when I come back, I could just grind it out and test it out, you know? But I really wanted to
Yeah.
get as early as I can to get this out because I'm gonna be competing with the top tech guys and they already got their hands on them and they're gonna be released that day. The earlier I release this video of the newer card, the better, because I have less competition to deal with.
You should take the card with you. Do your benchmarking in Vegas in like a random hotel room.
What, take my whole PC?
Yeah,
That's what
you're
I was
totally
thinking
fine.
too. That's what I was thinking too.
It's like we've done
But
the testing with the ambient
uh,
temperatures of the Vegas Strip. You
yeah,
know, what are you
yeah.
planning? What is you've been to Vegas before? What's your usual thing? Do you do like the casino side of things, just hanging out, going to the fights? What is it you're planning? You know.
Strip clubs. Just
What?
no, it's not this time. It's my sister-in-law's 21st birthday. She turned 21, so we're gonna go and
Ah,
enjoy the strip clubs.
that's fair. So happy birthday to her. Like we'll give her the shout
Yeah.
out on the show. You know.
Let's see if the bots come in. Now we're just gonna go to the clubs. We're going to a Spanish concert on one of the Thursdays. They're gonna have the Latin Grammys there actually, so we're probably gonna go to the after parties for those. Try to see some of the Latin
That's cool.
people, artists. Um, get drunk, buy some bottles, um, gamble, enjoy the strip. Since it is gonna be a little colder, we're gonna probably go to if she wants to, the Red Rocks there. It's these cliffs that they have. and you can't go during the summer because it gets to like 125 degrees out there. You know,
Oh,
in the desert. Yeah, and those rocks. Yeah, so you literally just die. So
fair
that's why I
enough.
was like, well, yeah, and if she doesn't want to go hiking, then we don't have to. We can just go walk the strip. Yeah, just stuff like that. Yeah, usually when I go, I end up watching some fights. Last time I went, I watched the Canelo fights, boxing, Canelo versus Bivol.
I remember you because you
So
shown that off in the vlog you did
yeah.
for it as well. Yeah.
Hey, if anyone's subscribed to my channel, check out my top three entertainment playlist. It's if you want to get to know me more behind the scenes, that's like my vlogs I have on there that I do randomly. You can just check out spurts of my life on there. Those videos don't get watched too much, and it's okay. I make those just for fun, anyways.
I
But
think that's the difficulty with vlogs. I think it's very, I don't know, difficult to target certain people. But like, just your main subscribers will watch them, but maybe not everyone
yeah,
else is the main thing.
yeah. Next time, you got to put the clickbait titles on them too.
I know.
I almost
I had
died
someone
in
kicking off about
Vegas.
click. Someone was kicking off about clickbait in one of my other videos the other day. It was
Oh yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
the one about the 12 VH power connector. So
Yeah,
it
dude,
said,
that guy.
was it?
Go on. No, go on.
No, I was gonna say. So he was like, "Oh, like your title is a bit clickbaity." I was like, "Well, they are melting. So
Bro, he gave you a whole.
how's that
He
clickbait?
gave you. He gave you a whole thesis. It was on the Twitter.
Was it on the Twitter?
Was it in the? No, was it on YouTube?
I thought it was just on YouTube.
It, it was.
Yeah, it was like
It
an
was on YouTube.
essay. I didn't respond. I
Yeah,
didn't respond to him. I was like, nah, I'm good.
yeah. We all were responding to him. Yeah, he gave you a whole
oh, you,
thesis on your video.
you replied to him, was it?
Yeah, I put nerd. And I say that jokingly because obviously I follow you. I'm a nerd too, but it's just funny.
I need to see this now.
Yeah, it just makes you think. Yeah, because he said that they weren't actually burning or melting or something like that. That it was clickbait and
I
yeah,
know,
like
I know
everything you
now.
talked about. He was he's a good editor, I guess. You need him on your team.
So I remember he said
Yeah, and
something
then
about like
someone.
it's not Nvidia's cable. It's like, well, why are they actively investing in it then? They have some sort of implication in these issues on there. I was like,
Yeah, because you had the 7900 XT or the XTX as the thumbnail. So I think he thought you're an AMD fanboy or you're more biased towards AMD.
oh no. That's
You
this
know,
week's one. This was last week with the
that
when
was last week's one?
it's a different
Okay.
one. Um,
I remember that guy though. And yeah, well, obviously he's
is
an
it the
Nvidia
same guy?
fanboy because everything.
I can't
No,
remember. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I don't know. We're all shills apparently. That's the problem.
Yeah.
but
Yeah, yeah, I liked how he said that this is what's wrong with you YouTube guys to me. I was like, bro, I pay. There's a difference between them and me. They get all
yeah,
this shit for free. I pay this out of pocket, man.
exactly. But on the
Yeah.
clickbait thing though, that's how you get views on YouTube now. Like it sounds really
Yeah,
sad to
if you
say,
really
but
want to.
you have to have a little bit of clickbait. Like
Yeah.
I saw ones for I'm not subscribed on Floatplane, but LTT videos are particularly like clickbaity. I think we
Yeah,
all
they're
know
super
that.
clickbaity, yeah.
But if you look at the titles for their Floatplane videos, they're the complete opposite. Um, I can't remember how I saw this, but I think there was like a screenshot they shown where they shown the same video on YouTube having a different title on Floatplane, which was much more
Yeah.
straightforward and non-clickbaity. But that's just the way it is for YouTube now. You have to have that that sort of thing that like grab attention to your video, which with a straight
I
up
have the
like
comment
title
right here.
isn't going to work. Was that?
So yeah, Dragon's Rage 012 said, so the title of your video was Nvidia can't ignore this. 12-volt horsepower cables melting, what you need to know. It says your title is a bit clickbaity as it is not the cables melting in quotation marks, but the backwards compatible adapter provided by Nvidia.
That's
Uh,
it. Yeah.
that yeah, that adapter is in the cables, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then it says in minute 6, Nvidia did not decide to slim down the connector. 12-volt horsepower is the new standard going forward. They've been using a version of it without the extra resistance pins on the 30,000 series. That's false. It's not the new standard.
Why aren't
RDNA3 is
AMD
not going
using
with
it?
it.
So
Yeah. At 2 minute mark, he said, yes, the adapter needs that relief. However, no cable should be bent at 90 degrees right at the plug. This includes your USB charging cable. Okay? Your USB charging cable doesn't get freaking 500 watts of power going through it at once.
no.
Yeah. Yes, the adapter needs relief. So he agrees with you? Why is this a topic? And then he said at 2 minutes 36, everyone's celebrating AMD for not moving to the new standard. See? He contradicted himself again. Like as if AMD saw this and put the brakes on it and switched back to the old standard. I guess as to why they didn't use it on the 7000 series is because they wanted to wait till more of the PSUs with the connectors were available on the market. Sounds smart. This way, when the 8000 series comes out, they can say, don't use an adapter, just buy a new compatible PSU. That didn't work anyways, but I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with that. If you see that there is a foreseeable issue of compatibility or, in this case, possible fire, why not pump the brakes and wait till the next gen to use it or until there's more information out, right? I don't see what's
Yeah.
wrong with AMD going that route. So, yeah, it's hilarious.
I like the bit at the end
and
where you
then-
just said about the also Gamers Nexus just did a testing vid where no matter what they did to the adapter for backwards compatibility, they could not get one to melt. Something odd is going on. Yeah, it's almost as if that's the reason why I made a video, because something odd is going on. And the
yeah.
only way to get people to watch it is to mention something that is odd is happening because cables are melting.
And you know what? The video was held. Nvidia can't ignore this. I think they ignored your video, bro.
Are you
I'm
telling
sorry,
me
bro.
my video with how many views was it? It wasn't many.
263,
You're telling me Nvidia ignored that video? God damn
12
it!
comments, 11 likes.
It's the only reason I make these videos, man. Because I just hope Jensen one day is gonna watch it, like Jack's right, you know.
Hey, you never know. He pops up in the most random places, like karaoke live stream.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. I haven't actually seen the video. I just saw like the link pop up. I was like, what the?
Bro, I tripped out because when they started singing, it was in English, and their English voices were pretty good.
I want to know if I can find this.
I don't know. You should play it on here so you don't get
Oh yeah, no, it's true. No, I'll look it
yeah,
after.
you know the music, copyrighted. They or not copyright. Is it
It
copyright
might
claim?
be.
Something like that. Bro, I got a copyright claim on that RDNA3 one because they did one of the presentations had music in it.
Oh, of course, yeah. Well, it's all right though. I was going to do a live stream, and then you said, "Oh, do you want to come on?" I was like, "Yeah, it's fine," and I
Yeah.
don't have to deal with any copyright claims anyway.
No, that's fine. I didn't care anyways about that. Fair use. Fair use because we added commentary to it. We altered the stream, so it's fine.
So
If we were quiet
did
the
you
whole
dispute
time,
it?
no, because I don't make money yet. But once I start making money, because I can mute that whole segment, which is like 40 seconds.
That's not bad considering it was like an hour
Yeah.
and a half stream, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's not as bad then.
So
But yeah, rounding it out, like kind of like I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that we've kind of had. This whole stream has kind of been a bit sort of like bit improvised, you know, because like I didn't get the topics in time, but also we just wanted to like. There's been so many releases at the moment. It's just been good to kind of like just go over like the bits that we want to discuss on it, and just get a bit of a consensus on the state of the market as is. I am going to be interested to do the next tech flashback, which we should be able to do with covering the 4080 release. And especially it's going to be interesting. Well, obviously you're in Vegas for a while first testing out. Well, you're not in Vegas testing out.
my liver.
Testing out your liver. So we're going to test out this shot of Hennessy multiple times just to see what sort of performance we
Yeah.
get after that, you know. But
The first sample was diluted. Got to try it again.
exactly.
Hennessy's expensive in Vegas, dude. Alcohol's expensive in Vegas, man. I just buy a big old bottle and I walk around with it, and I'm good.
That's fair. I don't really drink many like spirits or like cognac, so I'm kind of out of the loop on prices for stuff like that. I'm just I'm a beer drinker, so I kind of I'm out
Well,
of the loop.
they'll probably charge you. They'll probably charge you like $13 a beer at places.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but what everyone does is just buy their own packs of beer and just walk around with beers in their hands.
Yeah, you got to do the,
Okay,
the brown bags, isn't it? That's the thing.
so no, you can drink publicly in Vegas anywhere.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's all right. What about locally to you? Do you have to have a brown paper bag if you're drinking outside?
Yeah, you can't drink it in public, so you put it in a red cup
Ah,
or
that's
brown
what it
paper
is.
bag. Yeah, so you do that trick.
Yeah, in the
Um,
in the UK, that's just not a thing. Everyone just knows. Like if they drink it on the street, yeah, just British people like to drink a lot of alcohol, which is it's no there's no hiding it.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. I don't know. I don't get it. But I get it, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. It's that like I need to start. I haven't even tried Hennessy. I'd be interested to give it a go. But like
Yeah, it's good.
I appreciate you putting the effort to try a Guinness when we had like you had like a celebratory Guinness when I got engaged. Don't think you enjoyed it though. But
Yeah.
you
It
have
was
to
all right. It was a
you'll,
stout.
you'll have to send me a shot of Hennessy in the post.
Yeah,
Just the
I don't
shot,
think
you know.
I would send you a little shot. This big bottle right here is actually very tiny. It just looks huge in the background. But
It's a bit I was
I
looking
can't
in the
send alcohol
background
through the
now.
mail.
I was looking in the background. I was like, it's looking a bit like sad with the dead mining rig. Have you decided what you're
Yeah,
gonna do with like the background now?
yeah, I don't know. I don't know yet. I might just scrap all that and just put my PC parts on there. Just have a little.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Or it could be my liquor shelf.
That'd be
My
pretty good.
Hennessy. I started.
Lucky man just jumped in and
Yeah,
saying, "Oh, like UK, get drunk and book a bench." Exactly, that's what it is.
this is the. You guys want to compare?
So if you were hardcore, you'd down that entire bottle right now, you know. But
Oh fuck no! It is my day off, but I mean it's only a little bit left. But uh, over here in the state that I live, they charge. So you get state taxes, right? You get charged 10% tax on whatever you buy. They also have a liquor tax here. So any liquor that you buy, you pretty much get charged another 10%. So you get charged 20% on liquor.
right,
So when I go out of state, like when I'm going to Vegas, I buy a lot of alcohol and I buy the big bottles. So that way I don't have to pay any of that tax and I save some money.
that's fair.
So
I have an interesting question because I was gonna film a YouTube short the other day. I'm trying to get more into shorts nowadays just to get into the habit of it. But I was going to do
yeah,
one. I thought, nah, this seems a bit inappropriate. So I was going to do one like the correct way to install a CPU air cooler. And I was like, what do you need? You need a CPU air cooler. You need a screwdriver. You need thermal paste. And then also, you need something to take the edge off. And I'd be pouring like a Jack Daniels just to help you.
yeah,
But I thought, no,
that's
I
fine.
don't know if that would like if that would slide too well on YouTube. But I could have been wrong, you know. But
Yeah.
here she is, the TechFlashback mascot. How's she doing?
She's doing good. She just popped up out of nowhere.
That's sweet. That's so good. I think my cat's already trying to tear down the door, but like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is. Before
Huh.
we,
So
I think we're sort of closed out with like the tech side, but like before we headed out, like I think you wanted to. Should we do it? Should we do this chat we've been talking about doing for like just rounding things off with not Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon? Should we do it?
yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
Um, before we do that, I just want to say, I've been playing Modern Warfare 2, and it's been pretty fun. If you're into Call of Duty, it's a little more like Battlefield-ish,
Okay.
I guess. More Battlefield-ish than Call of Duty-ish in Call of Duty.
That's fair. Well, I've seen you been
So
smashing
yeah.
through it at least, anyway.
Yeah, I've been grinding, dude. I've been grinding. Warzone's coming out, so. Oh, and then today the new Halo update came out, the winter update. This is what I was saying while you were all deaf and all dumb over there.
Ah, that's what it
Um,
was.
once we got a glimpse into the future of PC Jack when he's an 80-year-old man,
Yeah, that's
he's
exactly
gonna
it.
be like, hold on, guys. I need my
Like, what are you
hearing
saying?
aid. And yeah, the new winter update came out today. The co-op campaign, so you can play the campaign with 4 people. Twiners, you need to update your
Uh,
game. What's it called? Forge, where you can build your own maps. That came out today.
oh,
New
okay.
maps came out, and new battle pass, a free battle pass. So I'm definitely gonna be playing that. Um, I'll probably be streaming the co-op campaign with Twiners and 21 MJB on Legendary. So that should be fun.
Nice. You doing that later?
Yeah. But I'm just excited, dude. I love Halo. So them finally adding this and adding the maps is sick.
I really need to try and actually give it a go because I've got it downloaded. I just haven't touched it. Literally, like I downloaded
Yeah,
it ages ago. I'd have to.
55 gigabyte update.
Oh, that's most of the game that I downloaded. I have to do the whole thing anyway, especially on my my third world download speeds. But I'll have to get onto it soon anyway. But yeah, 55 gigabytes. I hope it don't crash. That would be
Yeah,
ideal as
exactly.
well.
Well, usually the first days they come out, it's buggy and stuff. They gotta get stability with them. But we'll see.
Yeah, and especially for Halo, you said Halo Infinite was a bit demanding as well, especially so it's not as
Yeah.
ideal.
Well, Modern Warfare 2 is more demanding. That was actually making my GPU sweat, man.
Oh wow, and that was on your
Yeah.
6800 XT.
Yeah, but my wife had the heater on too, so
That could be why then. That's what it is.
yeah.
But
It said 71 degrees. I was like, what? I was like, what the fuck is this?
are you okay? What's going on?
Yeah. So
Uh,
yeah, it's a demanding game. But since we're gonna talk about the House of the Dragon, I found a chalice in a store and I was gonna buy it.
you should have, and then you could be
Yeah,
even more. You could be like you're in the House Targaryen, just
yeah.
with your chalice of Hennessy. Um,
And for Halloween, I was gonna go as a King Viserys, dude.
or with like a hole in your face and stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe half mask. Not just the blonde hair and the maybe a
Yeah.
cane.
Did you realize the actor who plays him is in a band?
I didn't know
Did you see
that.
that? I saw him. He popped up on Instagram, and he's in a rock band. I was like, oh,
Yeah, yeah.
that's pretty
I did know
cool.
he was in a band. Yeah, because he's the guy from Little Nicky. He's the
I've
guy
seen
from the.
Little Nicky. I'm trying to think of the connection.
He's the brother.
Wait, is he in that film?
Yeah, he's the blonde brother, right?
It's been so long since I've seen this. I don't know if you're like taking the mic. What do I?
Yeah, he wears
It,
like the red feather jacket. And he's
oh,
the replacement.
Risa Fans is in it.
Is that
The
not the same guy?
Alicent's father.
No, no, yeah, that's the hot. That's the other guy, the high tower, Otto. That's one thing My bad. I'm sorry.
Um,
I thought he was the rock star. No.
what the guy in like a red jacket? It's been so long since I've seen Little Nicky that I can barely remember anyone in it.
Yeah. Okay. You're right. Otto Hightower is Little Nicky's brother. That's correct.
Well, it'll pop up for you now on the stream. Um,
Yeah, that's him. That's Otto. That's the strict.
I thought you on about
Yeah, Viserys. I'm
Viserys.
sorry. Yeah, I
Ah,
mixed
that's
up your Brits.
yeah. He's from around my area. He's a Welsh actor. Have you ever heard of Kevin and Perry? I don't know if that's a popular thing in the US at all.
No.
No, I'll have to send you a link because he's in that as well. He plays a DJ in Ibiza. Um, that's a whole different thing, but I'll have to send that after. But no, should we do it? I want to know, Jerry.
Yeah.
Give me your rating out of 10 for House of Dragon season 1. Let's do it before we get into spoiler territory.
I say 9 out of 10, bro.
Ooh, that's a pretty good rating. Why is that?
I feel like the episodes were pretty good. I didn't really have any negative episodes. Maybe one was kind of slow, and maybe the only negative was like the 10-year time jump. It wasn't really a negative, but it was kind of weird trying to figure out who her kids were and who all these kids were for a little bit. But
It
once
was
I
a bit. It
figured
was
it
a
out, it
bit
wasn't too.
jarring, yeah.
Yeah,
I could agree with
but I
that.
get it.
Um,
But 9 out of 10, dude. I was expecting something super shitty, and it it completely blew me away, man. I loved every episode. I'm not gonna lie, it was a good show.
and that's coming from someone who's read the books as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So
That's right, because I haven't read any of the books, so like this is literally my first experience of any of this story. And for me, I was really like going into it. I didn't even watch any teaser trailers, anything like that. I knew nothing about it until I watched episode one, which is a pretty good way of going into any show or film. To be fair, without spoiling anything for yourself. And I really enjoyed it. I was really surprised how well they picked up after how season eight of was it season eight
yeah,
Game of
season
Thrones.
8.
Yeah, how that ended up. They really kind of
Especially,
like was there.
uh, I'd say season 7 wasn't even that good either. Season
No,
6.
but it was getting rough, like all
Yeah.
things considered. But they really like they've sort of nailed down exactly what made Game of Thrones so big with this first season. More so as like what's it referred to as like sort of event viewing. Is that the word to
Yeah, yeah,
say?
yeah.
Like it's an event every week that everyone would discuss, which has kind of been lost with like Netflix with these like binge releases where that excitement kind of goes away. But this thing that Game of Thrones was so big with back when it first came out was this like weekly schedule that would leave people talking about it for a week, which was one of my favorite things, especially with people like going onto Twitter straight away and be like, "Oh my god, do you remember what happened on this episode? Blah blah blah. What happened with them on Reddit or whatever stuff like that." So that's what I did really appreciate about this new series, as well as being very good. And I think we both know our favorite character is, and it's gotta be Viserys. He was the dog, you know. He was great, but it's very interesting to see. And like at first, I wasn't that keen on him, but I think overall, as the series like kind of
Yeah.
like grew out, he kind of like he grew on me quite a lot. And
Yeah, at
I know
first you're kind of
he's
like,
one
man.
he's one of your favorites as well.
Yeah, I was like, at first this guy's kind of a punk, everyone kind of pushes him over, this and that, but after a while you're like, you know what, dude? Everyone else is a bitch, and this fool's just trying to be like cool to everyone, and everyone
Yeah,
just fucking is just trying to take advantage of him. And it's like, man, this guy's sick. I liked him. He stood up for his family, and that's all he cared about. At the end of the day, I was like, you know what? I'd protect my family, and that'd be the number one thing too.
yeah,
And then
exactly.
obviously, and it's like he didn't care for the realm. They said he was the most peaceful,
Yeah.
like peaceful king they had in a while.
What do you reckon on Damon?
Damon, I think he's probably my second most favorite character. Um, Maybe they didn't use him in every episode, and maybe they didn't use him a lot in every episode. But the scenes that he was in, he was always pretty badass.
Oh yeah,
Maybe, maybe that one episode where he fought the Crab King, he was a little bit Call of Duty-ish, how he just ran through the battlefield.
a little bit.
But
I thought he was going to come out with that fight with Grayscale from Game of Thrones
yeah,
after fighting that, but like definitely cropped up with that, and then maybe that's the thing. I don't know. No spoilers on
nah,
that if that is the
that's
case.
none.
But
That's not the case.
I still think that like one of the best shots of the entire show was when he gave the crown back to his brother after he dropped it when he was in his like really late stage leprosy.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that what he had?
leprosy.
Yeah.
They said it was a like a leprosy like thing. They never really said exact what it was, but you could just imagine it's some
Yeah, but
similar
that shot where
disease.
he's like handing him the crown back, I was like, damn, that's
Yeah,
pretty good and unscripted.
uh,
I was like, damn, that's pretty.
unscripted. Yeah, and then the music was like spot on that moment. And then like a little bit earlier before that, his daughter was like, "Hey, stand up for me and like prove to everyone that I'm the rightful one." And that's when he like bursted in there, standing up for his daughter, and fucking showing that he ain't no punk.
Exactly.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
they've left it in a good position now because obviously, like you've told me about this, we've seen about the fact that they kind of have to like they've had to build up this entire season to like where the ultimate like sort of like conflict is with who's gonna like which family's gonna come out on top essentially. So
yeah,
that's what I'm keen to see on there. But we have to wait a
yeah.
while.
So yeah,
2024.
this was pretty much a prequel to the prequel. Pretty much, it's like a prologue.
That's it. That's what
Yeah,
you how you
that
described it to me. Yeah.
So that's why I kind of didn't mind the time jumps because I knew they had to, like in the books they just brushed through it that quickly anyways. And
Right.
so that's why I didn't mind because you kind of got to know everyone and what's going on so you can know what pieces are what instead of just,
Okay.
this family versus that family.
Right. But maybe I'll see a bit more. Like, it's just this 2 year wait is gonna be a difficult one though, because I want to get back
Yeah.
into it now. I'll probably end up trying to rewatch Game of Thrones in that space of time. I know that won't take long, but I'll get to like those later seasons and be like, no.
Yeah, it's gonna draw going.
But
Yeah, man.
overall, I was very impressed, and I just want to see more of it. Are they doing anything else? Game of Thrones now?
Any other Game of Thrones stuff? Supposedly they're making a Jon Snow show, but I don't know. See, I don't like that because I didn't like how the season ended of Game of Thrones, like the original show.
Yeah,
And so it's like all right, well we got to go back to this world again, like after. So I
yeah.
don't
I
know how
think
they're
they could have
uh,
left that if we're being honest.
yeah. And what, Jon Snow's gonna be out there in the wild with the wildlings, just fucking partying? Or are they gonna bring
Probably.
back the White Walkers and be like, oh, he's not really dead, you know?
Yeah, I think they kind of close that out now. They kind of need to leave that door closed. But
Yeah, I agree. But I'm just saying, like, what are they gonna present in the, you know?
yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But like in the meantime, I got plenty of other things to watch. I'm making some good progress with Better Call Saul. I'm on.
Oh, nice.
I'm at the end of season 5, I think.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you're pretty far then.
So I'm getting
I
pretty
don't remember
close.
what we
I
last
fit.
talked.
Was that?
You finished season 3, right? Like, I think that's when we last talked about was you getting to season 3 or something.
Yeah, and like I think I can say this because that was a couple of years ago now. But like, damn, Chuck died. Damn
Yeah,
it.
dude, that was the best that was the best season, bro. That's why it gets pretty good even after that. But just the I wasn't expecting him to die, man.
I miss Chuck, man. He was
Yeah.
he was a good. He was
Yeah.
one of the good guys, you know.
Hey, Saul beat him though.
Yeah. So that.
Did you like how they did the little switcheroo?
Oh yeah. But I do like. Well, I've got up to now like where sort of like because I was still trying to figure out how does like Mike's world cross over with Saul's or Jimmy's as
Yeah,
it first started out off as. But now in season 5, that's where he's starting to go by Saul and getting more
a lot
involved
more.
with the cartel in that
Yeah.
way. And
Yeah,
Mike,
that's why I told you too, like the more it goes on, the more cartel starts to pop in and the more Breaking Bad-ish it starts getting too.
which is exactly why I love where it's going so far. So last night, I had stopped about like halfway through the episode just because like I'm getting old. I like to sleep. Um,
Yeah.
but it was when Saul had to go to Mexico to collect $7 million bail money for I don't know his name. The one
I know who
Salamanca
you're talking
guy.
about. The uncle and the Theo?
Yeah, that's it. He had to get the bail money for him, and then he got intercepted by another gang, and then
In the desert?
yeah, and then Mike was like sniping them off,
Yeah.
and I was like, that's probably like the most action Saul has seen up to that point, which I thought was pretty crazy, like
Yeah.
contrast compared to the rest of the show. But I'm loving it, man. It's really good, and
Yeah.
I want to know because I like the bits at the beginning of the series when it shows like the present day Saul and seeing where that's at the moment. So may get to see a bit of that later on if I get a bit of time.
Uh,
But
the
I'm
only
really enjoying that.
the only spoiler I'll give you is it sticks at the landing.
It sticks to landing. That's good. That's what I
Yeah.
really appreciate about Breaking Bad as well, is that it didn't overstay its welcome, and they ended
And
it
it
at the
stuck the
right
landing.
time. And I don't know how people feel about El Camino, but I loved that as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
it wasn't too bad. It was okay. It wasn't bad, but it was okay. Like
it wasn't
I,
necessary, but it was like a nice little addition, I thought.
yeah.
But
I mean, it literally was the same thing. Like, well, Jesse got away, and then Jesse got away. But at
yeah,
least it lets us know. I guess he's going to Alaska.
yeah, there was that as well. But no, it's very good. So between that and then the Last of Us series is coming out in January
Oh
as
yeah.
well.
Oh, I don't know. Did you see what's coming out on Netflix?
A Gears of War movie? Movie or
Gears of War
series?
movie. I think it's a
Movie.
movie.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so pumped for that. I've been waiting for a Gears of War movie forever.
I don't really know much about Gears of War is the problem, but I wouldn't mind checking that out as well. But besides that, we got an awful lot coming out, though, so I don't think we'd be struggling for like stuff to watch for quite some time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited.
Net Netflix makes really good shows and movies, and they also make garbage shows and movies. So I hope it's not in the garbage, dude. I'm gonna be sad. And then they want someone said to put The Rock in it, and I was like, get the Rock out of here, dude. I do not want
No.
to see him in this. Because dude, if The Rock's in it, he's gonna want to be the hero, and he's gonna want to just fucking take everything down. Which is kind of nah. I know it's like a bunch of like muscle bound guys in there that are all meatheads and shit, but
Yeah.
there is a story. There is a story, like,
I don't know,
and
but
I don't see The
I'd be
Rock.
interested to check it out though, just to try and like get more familiar with that universe though. But yeah, I'm gonna have to draw things to a close, but there though. But yeah, it's been nice to bit of an informal one this evening, but I've enjoyed it. And it's been cool to see Twanners and Lucky Man pop up and the spam bot. You know, it's all good. Nice
Yeah,
to hang out with you
that's
guys. We'll be next week might be a little bit different because I'm not going to be streaming on the Tuesday, but we'll sort something out. And
Oh,
get
you're not gonna stream Tuesday?
no, I'm going out on Tuesday evening for my birthday, so
Okay.
I'm not going to be home. But
Oh,
like
it's your birthday.
it's Tuesday next week. But I was going to say maybe do the show on the Wednesday or Thursday.
I might be able to do it the Wednesday, definitely not Thursday.
Well, maybe Wednesday then, if we could potentially get
Yeah,
onto
because
that.
I'll probably have the day off.
There, that'd be right. But yeah, that's it for the show. If you guys enjoyed it, then please feel free to like and subscribe for more streams and videos on the way soon. And also make sure to head over to Jerry's channel and subscribe to him so you can see all the GPU content, including the upcoming A770 and RTX 4080 reviews, amongst a lots of other things, including streams as well. And if you also like to talk more with myself and Jerry, you can also join the PC Jack and Top 3 Entertainment Discord servers. Links to all those are in the video description. And yeah, thank you guys. Like again, thank you to Lucky Man and Twanners. See, Jerry, I remember to thank everyone this time. That's usually what you do, but like, it's all good. But thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out. And then, as usual, we always remember to roll out that outro just at the end. You know, so fun,
Yeah.
and it's worked. There we go.